Chapter 21. Washington Enters New York. There were some social gaieties in New York during the long winters of its occupation, but these were mostly confined to the British officers. Theaters had been established since 1732, when an English troupe had rented a building owned by Rip Van Dam on Maiden Lane and Pearl Street, in which to give 2 or 3 performances a week. The Hallam family came over in 1753 and built a theater in Nassau Street. Another theater on John Street, first opened in 1767, served the young British officers stationed in New York during the Revolution as a place for amateur theatricals. Life was not very gay for the average inhabitant, however. There was constant fear lest the Indians swoop down upon Manhattan, and while Washington fought no more engagements within the limits of New York, there were forays by his soldier into Staten Island and skirmishing in the region of King's Bridge, which kept the British from being too effective in the territory surrounding the city. By the time George III recognized the fact that his armies had been defeated and peace terms were agreed upon, many changes had taken place in the city. Another devastating fire had swept through its streets, carrying away the last notable relics of its Dutch ancestry. With one more scene of the Revolutionary War to be played against its background, New York was ready for a new kind of experience. The last scene was brief. On November 25th, 1783, the victorious American forces under General Knox swept down from Harlem through the Bowery Lane and took possession of the city. Leaving his troops and accompanied by citizens on horseback and afoot, General Knox then rode back to join Washington at the Bull's Head Tavern in the Bowery for a triumphal entry. With General Washington and his suite advancing 8 abreast in that glorious procession, rode also Governor Clinton, Lieutenant Governor Pierre von Cortlandt, and members of the Council for the Temporary Government of the Southern District of New York. The British had withdrawn to Staten Island at General Knox's approach, attempting one little parting pleasantry. Nailed to the top of a greased flagpole which stood at the north bastion of Fort George, our present battery, the British colors fluttered impudently in the wind. But their joke was no more successful than their arms in the face of Yankee ingenuity, for John von Arsdale, a sailor boy, made his way to the top by nailing cleats to the staff as he climbed, having the halyards tied around his waist, and then unfurled the stars and stripes over the American city of New York. On December 4th, General Washington gave a farewell dinner to his staff at Fraunce's Tavern, and departed to surrender his commission as General of the American armies into the hands of the Continental Congress at Annapolis. Then the merchants of the city put away their ragged uniforms of military service and turned their thoughts once more to the exchange of commodities, to trade and barter. New York, the child of commerce, came back to its own.